Hi guys, thanks for being here. Just finished, once again, I believe it's number 7. We had a scrimmage yesterday. Our first double was a shorts practice and came out with a scrimmage in the afternoon. Ezekiel Elliott has had wrist surgery, should be practicing later this week. We'll probably not have contact till the following week, but he's projected to play in the first game. Was doing great, and he's fine. Braxton Miller was doing great, just as because of volume issue, we decided not to throw him yesterday. He'll go tomorrow, practice tomorrow. And Jeff Harmon, we held him out because of just, once again, volume on his foot, but we anticipate, he is full speed. That was my choice to do that. So I'll answer any questions for you.
A couple areas you were concerned about. I know it's gotten were offensive line and the defense after the last 3 or 4 ball games. So I just wondered if after a week of practice, you feel a little bit differently about those 2 areas in particular.
Yeah, Joel Halo is really, we moved him from defense line to offensive line, and very admirable attempt in the spring. But he's actually looking like an offensive lineman. Has done very well. He's in this battle for the spot right now. The battle for the left guard spot is Tony Underwood, Joel Hill, and then Billy Price now. Billy Price has entered that, and he at times looks fantastic. So I'm a little more, I think we're a little more stabilized at that position. Right tackle is getting a little stabilized with Darryl Baldwin, right tackle, Pat Elfline, Jacoby Bourne, and Chad Lindsey battling out center. Left guard we just discussed, and Taylor Decker is really having a good camp at left tackle. Defense is doing very well, especially the areas that we're not very good at, and that's pass defense. So I'm very pleased with where we're at. I think they continued the cycle that they started in spring, and it's going pretty well.
Are there guys that have really kind of gone from either nowhere or kind of just barely in the mix to really making a statement so far?
Guys.
Are there?
Well, there's a bunch. I just don't want to leave people out, but I mean Von Bell and Tyvis Powell are 2 guys that I guess are relatively unknowns. That they're playing like veteran players right now. Dontre Wilson, Jalen Marshall are in a nice heated battle at the H-back position. Corey Smith and Michael Thomas have really started the battle for one of the top 2-3 receiver spots. And I could go on, and there's a bunch of guys. Just not time to go through them all.
Urban, since we last talked, the O'Bannon thing came down, autonomy issue was passed. Do you see this as maybe opening up the door for, obviously college football is an arms race as it is, making it even more so of an arms race for facilities? And
I apologize. I probably should know more about the whole situation. I don't. Gene Smith and I have had minor discussions about it. I got to get a team ready to play a very good Navy team, a Virginia Tech team, and I have not read it. I understand there's a ruling, and I apologize. I know I should probably be more up to speed on that, but I'm not.
Urban, if you started the game today, who would be your starting running back? And has Rod Smith jumped into the picture maybe a little more than y'all maybe thought he would? I don't know.
Yeah, Rod is in the battle now. In the spring, I didn't feel he was. He really didn't practice much. He had to concentrate on academics. We pulled him out of spring practice. He's had a very good, whatever it's been, 4 or 5 days. So, Ezekiel Elliott is back. Then you have him, Curtis Sim, and Rod. Briante has also had a couple of good days. So Warren Ball's the guy. He's missed a week. The good news is he comes out tomorrow and practices. So we're not ready to name a starter yet, but the names right now, off the top of my head, the 3 or 4 would be Zeke, Rod Smith, Curtis Samuel, and Briante.
A quick follow-up to what Todd just asked you. Even though you haven't thought a lot about it, I would think you're getting questions from recruits, families, about what's coming and stuff. What are you just generally telling them about what could be down the road from the standpoint of increased stipend or cost of going to college?
I have no idea, Tim, and there's not a recruit's been asked. I've never been asked that until today. Yeah, I don't. And I imagine I'm going to, when we get a break, let Gene and I sit and talk, because I'm almost embarrassed to say I have no idea what all that means. I don't know the ruling. I heard there's a ruling, and third down and 6. We have to get that first down.
Front row left, Doug.
Urban, that running back battle. Can Curtis Samuel, as a true freshman,
Absolutely.
do everything you need a running back to do?
I mean, every time I got to be careful because I do this, but I love that kid, and man, oh man, does he go hard. He's talented, and he will play this year.
I mean, he's a fast guy. I mean, he can run between the tackles and.
To be determined, but I've done this a while. Yes, he can.
And another
really
guy,
good.
we know Donovan Munger didn't play at all last year. He seems like he's in the mix on the defensive line.
Yeah, it was really a tough situation. He had those blood clots in his legs, and we were really concerned that he was not going to be allowed to play football. So our medical staff, working with the Cleveland Clinic, and he's a wonderful kid, and so he's playing, and he'll be in the mix. He's doing a nice job.
Far left, Matt.
Can you talk a little bit about what this, you're getting into two-a-days, you got your Ackerman Road camp. What's this next week about? What do you want to find out about guys here how difficult is this week?
Well, I think there's a couple stages of we call it Journey 14 is what we're on right now, and you have the MAT drills off-season program, which is really tough. You can kind of identify who can, the fight or flight mentality, spring practice, and then this next week is real. It's on, and they just got a little dose of what it's like, and then they're off today. So these next, it's 2-1, 2-1, 2. I can't add those all up, but that's a lot of practices in the next 5-6 days, and that's when the homesickness and start feeling sorry for each other. So you find out what kind of team, and it's going to be real hard. And so we'll find out at the end of this next week. I'll have a good indication what kind of team we have. Right now, it's everything's pretty good. But this next week is when you really got to stay healthy. You got to be smart as a coaching staff, but you also need to see how they fight when it gets tough. And this will be the toughest week that they have all year.
Second row left, Bill.
Urban, you said in Chicago that Dontre had added about 10 pounds of weight or might be able to run between the tackles. You made any determination on that yet?
Yeah, if he holds it, he's pushing the, let me think now. I want to say he's 180, he's almost 190. What you think about, that's almost 20 pounds he's gained since he's been here. And so we have not put him on Monday. I met with him yesterday, and we're going to start putting him with the tailbacks to work some inside zone. That's to have an outside guy to be able to do that. That's a big advantage.
Also, any thought of him returning punts as well as kickoff?
He's doing both right now. He'll be the starting kick returner as of right now. The starting punt returner, we're still determining.
Front row middle, Dave.
Urban, is Braxton pretty much on schedule? I know you guys are less than 3 weeks away from the opener. Is this where you hoped he would be, or is he just, if you could talk about where he's at?
Yeah. I think I anticipated this. I've dealt with the guys with arm issues before, and we're being very cautious. He could have certainly practiced yesterday, but we're in it for the long haul. So, yeah, he's right on schedule.
Middle row, Jeff.
Coach, there was some talk in the spring that the offense just wasn't going to be able to look the same this year with losing the offensive lineman, losing Carlos Hyde, things like that. Is kind of the process to get that where you want to go kind of still in progress, and is Braxton being hurt kind of hurt you in there as far as kind of trying to make things a little look
It's still early. If this was next week, next Saturday, and he didn't go, then that's going to hinder our progress. When I say that, we leaned on Carlos Hyde quite a bit, like any coach would with a player like that, an offensive line like that. We're building an offensive line, so it's going to look a little different. We'll probably rely on quick passing game much more than we did, like we have in other places. You build it around what you have. And last year you got a little comfortable with that big back and that great offensive line.
Far left, Lori.
Coach Meyer, is the alignment of the staff where you want it to be right now, or is that something, too, that can be built a little bit more between now and
I think that's a great question. That's, to me, everybody's got great players. And when you hear people blame players, that's incorrect. Everybody's got great players. It's the alignment of staff and the chemistry on your team, and those I'm very comfortable with where we're at. I think I'd put it in the great category. I think Luke Fickell and Chris Ash, there's incredible chemistry in the defensive staff room. All this remains to be seen. And next week, a lot of, it's going to be tough on the coaches too. So I'm really watching it closely. But high character guys that are really talented at their skill. It's really very strong right now.
If there was a game tomorrow, Coach, would you be relying on your running game a little bit more because you'd still be limiting Braxton's arm, or would he be 100% if there were a game tomorrow?
If the game was tomorrow, because where he's at, we would be very cautious with Braxton. But we have 3 weeks.
You always seem to lean on kickers and get up in their face when they're kicking. This school's always had a good one. How's he done so far?
I really like him. He's just was with his family. He's actually a pretty good punter too. He's our backup punter. And Kyle Clinton and him, we haven't named Nuremberger the kicker yet, but he's a really talented guy. Oh, don't know that yet.
Last couple questions, because we've got some players out there. We'll go to the far right here. Ray?
Coach, you said you hadn't read the O'Bannon the report on the lawsuit. What about the autonomy issue that was voted on Thursday that gives you, your school, and other major college football teams the right to set their own? Any thoughts about that stuff?
No, I really don't. I have such a great relationship with our administration, AD, that when Gene and I will sit down at some point, but it's not now. We got training camp. We're getting ready to go, and I honestly have no idea what all that stuff means other than
The idea in general of stipends for players?
beat Navy.
In general, the idea of stipends for your players, is that something?
Navy.
Far left, Tom?
Urban, what have you seen with Taylor Decker from this time last year to now?
He's a product of culture in the best culture on our team. That was the offensive line. He's a leader. He's tough. He's strong. To say he came that way here, I don't know if I'd say that, and he'd be the first one to say it. So he's the leader right now. Jeff Hireman, Coach Brown, our friend, my great friend Mac Brown's here. Mac, you want to come up here and handle this for me? No comment. But Mac said, Coach Brown's asked me what's the pulse of the offense. And right now it's Jeff Hireman, Taylor Decker, and Braxton Miller. And Taylor Decker, I think you said that a couple years ago. So he's come as far as anybody on our team.
And final question, far left. Rusty?
I know it's awfully early. You guys are in the top 10 in one preseason poll. You're going to get another one that comes out next week. I'm just wondering, as you look at this team compared to your previous dozen that you've had.
Is this going to be a Navy question?
No, well, sort of, yeah. Because if you lose to Navy, you won't be ranked. But does this team
Check his credentials for me.
Does this team feel like it has that kind of promise and
Yes.
potential?
Yeah, I think this team has. I think if you had to say what's the difference between this team and last year's team, we're faster. There's a couple areas the guys got to step up. Josh Perry's got to step up and play big. He's replacing Shazier. And that offensive line has to stay healthy and get better.